What's up, everybody? This is Asher with Lima 3 coming at you. Just wanted to kind of dig into the gun safe a little more. This is kind of considered my everyday rifle up until I built the 13.7, and then it kind of got put in the back of the safe. But first, I definitely want to give a huge thank you to Spiritus Systems. It was kind of rewarding when I guess the owner of Spiritus or somebody reached out through email and really enjoyed our Thing 2 review. If you don't know what the Thing 2 review is, or the Thing 2 that Spiritus makes, it's basically a chassis for your kit. So definitely look them up. No, we're not sponsored by them. We just definitely wanted to test out the equipment and put a review, and it was pretty rewarding to actually get an email from them saying thanks for the review. But moving on, most of you know it's hard to get your hands on things. I actually bought this pre-COVID, pre-gun crisis, pre-everything, but this is the Daniel Defense Mark 18. So a lot of you already know, just by looking at it, it is pretty stock. And I wanted it that way for a variety of reasons. One, I didn't want to change the rail. I like the bulky rail. Yes, it's heavy, but it serves a purpose, as in it's the most durable rail on the market. I can't put a dent in it. I've hit it against walls, cars, everything, and it puts dents in everything else. So it is pretty stock. There's minor modifications, minor adjustments that I've made, but basically how I want to do this is kind of like the other review, is start from the top to the bottom, kind of give you a little purpose behind it, and that'll pretty much be it. But if you're kind of wanting the most durable rifle that hasn't jammed up, thrown it in the mud, thrown it in anything really, this is kind of what you're looking for. It'll hold up to a lot of the temperatures. Shot it negative, I think 14 degrees, and it just kept firing. So it's been tested. I've tested it. It's probably got about 7,000 to 8,000 rounds through it. Not a whole lot. Like I said, I've owned it for a little while, but it kind of got put in the back of the gun safe for a while. So moving on, just like the 13.7, until the Sandman K comes in, the ATF takes forever. Using the silencer co with the adapter that attaches for silencer co to dead air brakes. So that's pretty nice if you use silencer co but also have dead air suppressors and only want to run one brake per firearm. This is an SBR. It is tax stamped. So before anybody comments and says, oh, you have a buttstock, yes, I have a tax stamp on it. So running the dead air brake, just standard Keymo, and then of course running the standard 10.3 barrel with the mid-length gas system. So I didn't change any of that. Everything stays the same. It shoots just fine the way it came out of the box. Running the L3 Aptial, the C version. It is not full power. Getting your hands on one's kind of tough unless you want to pay top dollar, and since we have to buy everything, I really didn't want to. And then that's hooked up to a Modlite little button pressure pad. I like those. They're sleeker, especially when you're dealing with a shorter rail. That's why also I'm running the push button. Everybody running the push button cap on the Cloud Defensive. So this is their very first version of the Rain, I believe. I bought it when they first launched, and it is still going. I think I've replaced the battery once, and that's pretty awesome. I just got lazy and didn't want to rattle can the cap after I couldn't figure out if I want to run 2 pressure pads or not. Don't recommend it with a short amount of rail, because when I grip, I'm still able to press the pressure pad, but then I can just move my thumb, manipulate back and forth if need be, and that makes it very, very simple for me. I'm running the BCM front grip. It's kind of angled, you can see. Didn't chop this one. I kind of liked to be able to wrap all 4 fingers, especially if I've got to press the pressure pad. So you can see the distance of my hand here. It's a little bit of a stretch, But if I'm clearing buildings or clearing rooms or anything like that, I probably won't even, the adrenaline will kick in and it won't even faze me. Moving on from here, I've got the Magpul QD mount. Of course, attached is the Ferro Concepts slingster. It's probably the best sling on the market right now, in my opinion, just because of its versatility to be able to move it and bring the rifle closer or farther away in case I've got to swim through and change arms to shoot. As well, I'm running the Eotech, the second version. They've got exps 2.0, 3.0. So I just decided to stick with the 2.0, of course, rattle can job. And then I'm running the American Defense Eotech QD riser mount. There's very few riser mounts that work for me. The American Defense and of course Unity is impossible to get. I've not been able to get my hands on one, so I'm running the American Defense and it's held up just fine. There's no sense in me buying a Unity when American Defense is in stock on their website and you can actually get them right now. I just checked their website before I even came out here. As far as the external, I'm still running the Magpul Daniel Defense Edition buttstock. Nothing's really changed there. Other than that, the internals is kind of where it changes a little bit, but not a whole lot. So I'm still running the H1 heavy buffer in here, and then standard Daniel Defense trigger. I wanted it to be as close to normal as possible. This thing is filthy. I just got done literally shooting. So we'll say that it gets a lot dirtier than a lot of other rifles. I don't know why, it just does. No matter how hard you clean it, I stick it in the sonic wave cleaner or whatever, and it cleans it pretty good, but if I'm gonna hand clean it, it'll take me forever. As far as internals, I am running the Gemtech suppressed and unsuppressed bolt carrier with a BCM bolt. So this is new to me. It's the first one I've used. I can shoot it literally unsuppressed and suppressed by the flick of a switch right here. Now, I was skeptical of it and I was like, man, it can't make that much of a difference. Well, it does. So before I purchased this and the Radian SD Raptor charging handle, blowback on a Mark 18 is pretty rough. What I mean by blowback is gas in the face and it going up under your eye pro and everything, and it was just unbearable and terrible. So I purchased this thinking it would maybe help. Well, it does. I'm a firm believer in the Gemtech unsuppressed and suppressed bolt carrier. I recommend it to everyone, but it's a little different because when you take the suppressor off, you have to switch it to unsuppressed, or otherwise it won't gas right, and I'll fire one round at a time. So definitely recommend it for shooting suppressed or unsuppressed. It definitely helps with gas blowback on these shorter barrel rifles. It's very nice. Then you have, of course, the Radian SD Raptor, just to help with even more gas blowback. I think Grand Thumb did a review over charging handles and he recommended it, so I thought I'd buy one. Been running it for a little over 2 years now, and it helped tremendously right off the jump. So I highly recommend those two in your SBRs. But like I said, guys, it's pretty simple. It's pretty standard. I haven't made a lot of modifications to it. Didn't see the need. It's going to do exactly everything and anything I want it to do at any given time. So if you can get your hands on one, I highly recommend it. It's been durable and reliable to me. But if you want to know who painted it, that would be myself with a little $3 rattle can job. We rattle can everything. The only really thing that I have negative about it, and I did it myself, is I'm not a big fan of the goon tape around the handle. Thought I would test it. I like it on my pistol. It's really nice. It is not loaded. But the goon tape around the pistol, I can get a real more firm grip behind it, even though it's stippled, and it's kind of a little easier on my hands. But around the rifle, something I've realized is, I think somebody recommended hockey tape or something like that. The goon tape's very sticky. The glue residue is kind of coming through, and every time it sticks to my hand. And I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the goon tape on the rifle. Just thought I'd clear the air on that. But if you have any more questions, just comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do, and let us know what you think.